On today's little adventure, we're heading up to that canyon up there where there's a neat little mining camp. Not much is left of it, but it's still kind of a neat little place to go. Right now I'm in the Amargosa River. I know, it's pretty dry for a river, but this is actually an underground river that goes all the way from about north central Nevada all the way down into Badwater, Death Valley. So it's a pretty long underground river. In the springtime, the spring runoff will actually have this river above ground. And one of the things my friends and I like to do is start way over there. Okay, that mountain peak right there behind my truck, that's Eagle Mountain. Behind that is Death Valley Junction. And then Shoshone is just over there. What we like to do is actually take little kayaks and actually float all the way down. And then once you get to Shoshone, you can get into a waiting vehicle, then take the road to Tacopa, get back on Tacopa, and then go all the way through Spurry, Washington to Dumont Dunes. It's actually kind of a fun little day trip. So right now, because of the fact I am in a river valley or a river basin, the terrain changes here quite a bit. And where my truck is, there's supposed to be a road that takes me all the way up into there, but it is completely gone. I cannot find it on the opposite bank. There's supposed to be another road up here, so I'm gonna go check it out so I'm not driving through the river. So I climbed up here on the far bank, see if I can locate a road easier. Here's a good example of a claim monument. Because under law, even in the 1800s, they had to be about 4 feet high. And this one, of course, has been knocked down. The other indication is you usually had yourself a tin, like this canned meat tin, that would sometimes house claim papers. A lot of times they used a Prince Albert tobacco tin. So the road is actually supposed to go through there, but it's been completely wiped out. Now there's supposed to be another road up here, so I'm going to go ahead and walk over there and see what I can find. Here is another type of marker. It's not an alignment. What it is on terrain such as this, the road disappears very quickly. So if nobody travels on it for a few days, it actually disappears. So this is really, really hard packed ground. So a lot of times in the desert, you'll find these usually put in by the prospectors of the mining company to actually tell their vehicles where to go. So there's a couple more up ahead, and it actually leads you all the way up until where the ground becomes a little bit softer and leaves more of a rut. And we still have a little ways to go up there, but I figured I'd take you guys up here. She got this little shelter. And that's another clay monument. This is the one that actually runs along the border. There's a much larger one that's way down there that I didn't stop at. And then you can see another one, hopefully, a little bit further up in the wash. It's just delineating the border of the property. Starting to get a little bit steeper and slicker. So I need to slow down so I don't end up spraining something. It's one of those things, one step forward, 10 steps back. we go. Now I could see that that's smoke up there. And it looks like this was actually built up. This would provide good protection from the elements. It might have been snake skeleton. It might have been a prehistoric shelter. That's coyote. Now it's mainly just for bats, because that's bird, and the dark staining, that's all bat. This could have been the fire pit. Yeah, this would be a very nice little place to be. This big rock, difficult to get up to. There's plenty of springs in this mountain range. There we go. Shows modern time. You got machine nails. I'm pretty sure if you dug in there and dug down to the base, you may end up finding a lot of neat stuff. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and work my way back down to my truck and go further up in the canyon. I shall see you there. We're a little bit further up inside the canyon now. The cave I just took you to is over there. Went ahead and got my backpack put on. This right here was actually a little mining camp, with the main mine actually being on the other side of the mountain. Won't be on this trip because the road goes up a really tight canyon and the waterfall is completely boulder ridden. My truck is pretty capable, but it's not set up for rock hopping. This right here was the main camp. There wasn't much. It was just mainly very basic rock structure. Not much is left. Here's the can dump. Yeah, the facility only had very basic smelting. Nothing too overdone. Just enough to save them money shipping the ore to market or to the actual smelters. Look at the thickness of that bottle. That's kind of neat. Now the reason why I put my bag on, there is a mine a little bit further up that's on this side of the mountain that has a nice little ore way. And I was heading up there, but then I figured it'd be neat to go ahead and head up to this one. Looks like it's about a half-mile hike uphill. Because of, it does not appear on any map that was made prior to 1978. So it's a much newer prospect. And this right here is the only thing that is really left of what was called a cousin jack. It's just the back wall. All right, there's a kerosene can. And there's debris all throughout this canyon of rock walls. The town is not what you call something spectacular, but it's the mines that I'm actually interested in. And right now I'm trying to find the beginning of the road because it's going to be a lot easier to hike up the road than it is the side of the mountain. wooden frame for something. Let's take a look. I have no clue what the purpose of this was. All right, looks like the road's straight ahead, so I'm gonna go ahead and start heading that way. That's an interesting looking rock. Okay, that's interesting. I actually walked right past the road. There it is. I would say, unless you're into rock crawling, it's not very drivable right now. Nope. I'm a little bit over halfway up. There's the tailing pile. The reason why I stopped is this is the road. I know it doesn't look like much, but this is really steep and road. It's actually taken me a lot longer to do because not only is it steep, it's very loose material. And the closer I get up there to the tailings, steeper it becomes. And the more rutted it becomes. So this is what's at top of the hill. Unfortunately, I hiked all of that. And I didn't bring any rope with me. I'm gonna have to save that another day with some friends. Because that cribbing, that was built very hastily. And you could just tell. Then down here goes into a natural cavity. And what's really neat about that is someone was using a brace that's actually just raw lumber. Let's see if I get the camera a little bit closer to the edge. Yeah, not much. So that is the next place we're going. So let me get back in my vehicle and meet you over there. So we are heading up to that next mine up there. I know I parked here, but the road continues on. I already know from experience, there's no place to turn around up here. And that's almost a half mile of reversing on a ledge road. So no thank you. I've done it once before and don't plan on doing it again. Not much of a hike. And who cares if it's a hike? I am by myself here. No one comes into this area. So I will see you a little bit later up at the mine. And like I said, there's really no place to turn around a double cab Tacoma. It was a lot bigger at one time. You could see the oreway coming down, the tailing. So now we're heading up there. Just a few seconds ago, I was just down there, and I've never really found a good way to get all the way up there. So I tried a different route, which led me through here. And one of the things I find interesting, now it might just be coincidence, or it actually might be the old path. That actually looks like stairs. The way that they're actually spaced, it's almost like somebody laid the rocks, the flat rocks there for a stairway. And then there is a trail that continues on up. Then another trail that continues on over to the oreway. So I'm going to go ahead and follow this and see where it leads. I went ahead and left what looked like a trail behind. Came over here to the oreway. I can give you a nice view of that. So the ore would have slid all the way down into waiting trucks. I made it up finally. Going up the route that I did was not fun. It does look like there may have been a trail at one time. It's probably washed away because you kind of see glimpses of it going down. The view again, look at that. It's just simply gorgeous. Again, that big mountain, lone mountain right there, that's Eagle Mountain. Very important stop along the Salt Trail, which is a funeral rite for the Shoshone. This is the mine. The tailing pile that was above collapsed down. And it's just going to be easier to drag this through without a backpack on. Ow. Got caught on a piece of wood. Not very pleasant. All right. Just being ultra careful. I can already tell the air is already stagnant. Alrighty. Backpack on. Off we go. Here on the back, this is what they were doing. They drilled a hole, then they just hammered the stake in, and that's what they were hanging the lights off of. And that's a dead end. Look at the slippage on that rib. It's nice and smooth. And to remind you again, the ceiling is the back. This is the rib. That is called a face. A lot of little natural cavities. Well, this was not stoped out. This is actually a cavity. Huh. And that's it, that's a dead end. All right, we're at the end and the air is stale as hell. Oh, no, we're not at the end. There, it's the end. That's the end, the face. All right, I gotta get out of here. I'm finally out of the mine. And the reason why I got a little panicky there at the face, you couldn't hear it because I had it set on vibrate, but my O2 meter was going nuts. And unlike a lot of other people, I have my O2 meter set really, really low. I'm talking like about 11, 12%. A lot of people have their O2 meter set at about 15 to 19%. So I needed to get out of there before bad things could have happened. The air back there, it's kind of hard to describe. It was a very stale smell, became extremely heavy, and the closer I got to the face, the more moisture I was actually able to smell. So it was prudent of me to get the heck out of Dodge. I was looking more at this trail here. At first I thought it might have been a cart way, but it's not. It's actually a footpath. So I'm gonna go ahead and follow it, see where it leads. So I was just down there, followed the trail up. You call it, it's more like a burl trail. And then here, this is a natural shelter. It doesn't look like anybody lived in it. And over here, they were chasing something because you could see where they knocked out. And they came in here. It doesn't go back very far. Goes down here off there a little bit, but it doesn't go back very far. And then over here, they started to create a shaft. You got a platform. Started, might have been collar boards for the collar, but they stopped. Same thing over here. And over here, it just looks like they stoped it out, and then over time, the back broke. And it came down. So there's nothing else up here. And with that, I think that'll be the end of today's little adventure. The sun is still up in the sky, but it's about 4:30 right now. And I do have to drive back out. It takes about an hour and a half following a trail that's barely wide enough for the Tacoma. On top of it, 80% of the time, you don't even know where the trail is. So with that, I'm going to end today's little adventure. I hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully you made it all the way to the end. If you did, I really appreciate it. Down there, I said I've been having trouble locating the actual trail to get up to the first level. Found the trail to get up to the second level. Realized I've been doing it the hard way ever since. Now, because of the setting sun and the cloud cover, as you can see there, the shadows are a little bit different. And look what I found. An actual trail. This is going to make it a lot easier from now on to get up to the site if I do want to get back up here. See what happens when you just follow a random trail? I'm heading back the direction I need to go, but I came across this. It's the remains of a cousin jack. So this would be completely dug out. You had yourself a stone wall, and then they would take their canvas tent and drape it over the top of it and have themselves a nice little place that was cool in the summer and warm in the winter. Yeah, that's a pretty neat little find.